So this is a recording of my hike into Sherman Woods on April 17th, 2017. We're looking at a map of the area of Walker's Line just north of Derry. So above the screen would be Rattlesnake Point Conservation. On the at the top right would be off the screen. The top left would be Crawford Lake. Right here in the middle is the gravel pit area is Sherman aggregates, I guess they're called. So in any event, today's hike was to explore the woods. I see cars parked there all the time, so I figured there was something good to see in there. So we parked at Walker's Line and number 12 side road, which is closed to vehicles. Parked on the side of the road there. So the purple line is a trail that we took in, and basically we followed the fence line in, and then followed the apex of the berm, or the highest point, all the way down to what you see the lower part of the screen there. Somewhat overgrown, not too bad. Had to take some branches out of the way and that sort of thing. So on the top of that berm, one side falls down into the gravel pit, or one of them, and the other one falls down into the valley. So the top of the berm is 265 meters high. The valley bottom read about 231, so about 34 meters in elevation. We on the way back, we did hike down there to have a look. So let's have a look at the photographs. Here we are parked on Walker's Line, about to head into Sherman Woods. I don't know what the name of the woods is. I called it that because it's next to Sherman Gravel. So we're going to hike the entrance is right there. So right where the road turns. And again, you can only barely see the path, but it's leading through there. And there we are on our way. So what we have here is a gravel pit on the right and a gravel pit on the left, and where this fence line is undisturbed, so you can walk across that. So there we are on the way. We went on the inside of the fence line because the trees on the other side of the fence line too heavy. So there we are, getting to kind of the four corner, or not the corners, like the fence line. I'm going to draw for you. Goes here, and then it makes a turn and goes that way. And that way is in fact the direction we're going to go. So we followed along the berm for a bit, and the valley seemed quite steep. So there we are now, heading along the fence line. The fence is kind of fallen down in parts, but most of it's pretty good shape. So again, the fence line follows the apex of the berm, and that's what we did. Lots of fallen trees and branches. Now that's a look down into the valley. So say about a 34 meter drop down in the valley. So you can see how narrow the berm is in parts, and we're just following it along there. Another look down into the valley. Now we've arrived at one of the other smaller gravel roads in there on the east side of the berm, And then the berm got too thick to really have any fun. The map, the aerial maps, clearly showed that that berm carried on for another maybe 100 meters, I'm not sure, but we weren't going to bother. So then we decided to drop down into the valley. When you get in there, it's quite a pleasant place to hike down in there, but there is no distinct trails. We're almost at the river, or the creek, and there's a creek there, so that's what we did. And when we got down, we looked around, could not find any other distinct trails, so I know that people hike in there, but where they go, I don't know. So we headed ourselves back up. The slope looks more intimidating to get up and down than it really is, but it is a good climb. And so we're headed up towards the apex of the berm again. And on the way, my dog stuck her head in this hole. Good thing the foxes weren't there that day, because that would have been a nasty moment, don't you think? So then we made it to the apex of the berm, and made our way back to the car. So that's our day.